help? You just register up here. Oh, okay. Hi, I'm good. A cup of coffee. Do you want the 16 or the 20 now? On a mug. That'll be 310. Did you want the cream or anything? Yes, please. A mug. No worries. All right, thank you. Good morning. I'm gonna have to move over here at this table here. I missed you guys. I had to take some time and rest from all that traveling I've been doing. Well, good morning. I was outside, but I had to come in here because it started raining. No time. So listen, yeah, trusting God's no. What does that mean to you? Trusting God's no. Let me tell you something. A lot of times when things don't go our way, we get upset um, and feel like, asking why. But at the end of the day, it's God's protection. Have you ever prayed for something and God's answer was simply a no? It hurts you, it confuses you, all of the above, but later you realize that it was actually God's protecting you. Today we're going to talk about how to spot God's no, and it's really His love at work. And yeah, I want to hear your stories because I have a plethora of them. When for me, taking His no's, thinking it was something, somebody against me or whatever. Good morning, good morning. But that made me think about First Kings chapters 12 and 13. In chapter 12, King Rehoboam was ready to fight for what he thought was what he should keep. Honey, God showed up and said, this thing was me. And in chapter 13, we see what happens when someone ignores God's word. Both moments remind us that sometimes his no is not punishment, but it's protection. The safest place we can be is in his will. The safest place we can be in his will. A lot of times, like even in relationships, like when God allows division, sometimes that setback is just a setup for him to get you out of that situation, right? Um, Again, trusting God's no is how he can separate us and keep us protected. When God has entered a relationships, jobs, or opportunities to protect you. Let me give you my little testimony about how when I went to look for this job, and it was a really good paying job back in the 289, back in the early 90s. And I just knew this particular position was mine. I even went in there as boldly as to say, listen, you can interview anybody you want to interview, but this job is mine. Now, mind you, this job was paying the top pay was $13 an hour. That don't sound like much, but back in the 90s, that was a pretty decent piece of change. Um, and so they only had 12 positions open. But I went in there boldly, was like, you know what? And the guy that was hiring, his name was Barry. I said, you know what, Barry, you don't have to look for anybody else for this position because it's mine. Because God told me. I'm just being all bold with it. And I got made it all the way through the last interview. And this girl that was in the military, she had come from the military. She looked at me, she was like, well, she was counting everybody. She's like, they got to give the military first preference and then the civilian second preference. And then she counted everything. She says, I don't think you're going to get that position, Veronica. Because mind you, I'm telling everybody, I'm getting this job. And they had like flex team. Flex team, if you're not familiar with what a flex team job is, it's a part-time job. Stay with me. Stay with me. I said, no, I'm not getting a flex team job because God ain't said flex time. He said full time. Lo and behold, when everything it was said and done, they called me and they offered me a job. It was a part-time job. I'm like, what? I said, wait a minute, Barry. I said, God said full time. What do you mean part time? He said, but that's all we had left, Veronica. And yeah, we're offering you a part time job. Would you like to accept it? And in my mind, I'm saying, well, you know what? Maybe that's God's way of letting me in. I'll take it. Right. And let me back up. On my other job, I had already put in my 2 weeks notice, letting everybody know I'm getting this full time job and it's going to pay me $13 an hour, XYZ. But let me tell you what God's plan was. I was still grateful for the flex job. I was a little irritated, but I was still grateful. And when I hung up the phone, I said, okay, God, thank you for this flex job. I'm still going to take it. I just know this is your way of opening the door. Let me tell you something. God's plan was for me to get a full-time job, right? But it wasn't that particular job. They called me back 3 days later and says, Veronica, I don't know what happened, but another position came open and you were next in line for a full-time position. And the great thing about this full-time position, the top pay is $17 an hour. Let me take a sip. Did y'all hear that? The previous job, the full-time job that I wanted and just knew it was that particular job, it was a lower paying job. But God was saying, I got something better, but I'm going to still see if you're going to trust me. Still working on faith too. I'm going to see if you still going to trust me. Even though I'm going to let them give you this flex job, but my bigger plan for you is this higher paying job. So sometimes God's knows it's our protection. I sure did thank him for that. No, honey, because I'd much rather have a $17 hour job than the 13-hour job. Come on, somebody. Have that ever happened to you? Good morning, W. Rain. Good morning, Ron P. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Tom. Good morning. It's been a minute. Yeah, I know I had to take some time and rest. Um, Okay, so again, that goes back to saying, listen, his nose is always our protection. And we don't see, even when you're driving up the road and somebody cut you off and start driving slow, it slow you up. There's no need to get mad because you don't know what's ahead of what lies ahead. It's God's protection saying, you know what? If you go at the rate you're going now, an accident is going to be waiting and you're going to be in the midst of it. So therefore, I'm going to have to slow you down. Oh, you running late. Oh, it's a reason for everything. And we have to start looking at it like that. God, I thank you for this car pulling out and slowing me down. But we don't think like that. Come on, somebody. If you're with me on that, give me some hearts. We don't be thinking like that. We be thinking, why did they cut me off? I'm in a hurry. Slow down. Because you don't know what lies ahead of you. It could be another vehicle that's going to pull out just as you pull up. Okay? God's protection, God's no. It's only his protection. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the thumbs up. Obedience over convenience. Now, in First Kings chapter 13, it highlights how the man of God followed someone else's word. See, God had sent a prophet in to prophesy, and he told him, "Listen, don't go back the way you came. Do not eat, do not drink, do not sleep. Go the opposite direction." And my earring. Then somebody from the camp heard of the prophet. The prophet had what he had prophesied to Rehoboam. Well, I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but you get it. And he says, come on, come with me back to my house. Come on now, and eat and drink. He says, no, I'm the prophet, and God told me, his word says for me not to go back there, eat, drink, nor sleep, but not, and even not to go back the way that I came, but to go the opposite direction. Come on, he had to obey God. And then the man stood up and said, listen, I'm a prophet too. And God told me to tell you to come back and eat and drink and all this. The prophet listened to the man and goes back, but she should have been obedient. But God gave him a swift words and told him pretty much, you will not, what did he tell him? You're not gonna make it to where I'm paraphrasing now. Come on, you're not gonna make it to where I want you to make it to, but your carcass will be lying out for everybody to see. And lo and behold, after he ate and supped with that man, sup, ate, drink, he went out and a lion met him on his way, ate him, and then everybody came by and saw, and the lion stood over his body. Well, that goes to obedience. We need to obey. If God tell you don't do something, don't do it. No matter what somebody else, if somebody comes and say, well, God told me, well, listen, he ain't tell me that. Let me tell y'all something. Years ago when I had just started doing hair, and I had met this man, right? And we were talking. He came into the salon. We was talking and everything. Honey, he come in there one day and he looked at me and he says, "You're my wife." I said, "I am." Now, mind you, we had been laughing and talking and maybe going out to dinner and stuff like that. He said, "Yeah, God told me that you was my wife." You know what I said? I said, "Well, he didn't tell me that. Look like he would have told me." And he goes, "Well, he told me you my wife." Now, here's the thing. Now, let me pause right there. Now, if God told you I was your wife, then he would tell you what my desires are, and you will be able to feel my desires. So what did I do? I said, okay, so God told you I'm your wife. Well, did he tell you what kind of house I'm supposed to be living in? I said, did he tell you that? Good morning, how are you? All right. And he goes, what kind of house you want to be living in? I said, well, since God didn't tell you, let me show you. I carried him to a neighborhood like I live in now, because I know what God had told me years ago how I was supposed to be living. I carried him to this neighborhood. It wasn't the neighborhood that I'm living in now, but it was a neighborhood like the neighborhood I'm living in now. And I went to this house and I picked out the biggest house I could find. It had a in-law suite. It was like two and a half houses in one. Honey, after the realtor started, and we done got our way down to the in-law suite, he done broke into a sweat talking about some, whew, how much does this house cost? I looked at him, I said, don't matter. God told you I was your wife. And if I'm your wife, this is how I supposed to be living. How quick did he change his tune? See, somebody said you got to try the word by the word. Don't play with me. Don't come telling me what God told you, because if God told you that I was your wife, then we should be lining up on the same accord. Spiritually, we should know things. You know what I mean? Honey, don't try to fool me with that foolishness. Um, have you ever been talked out of what God told you to do? Huh? Have you? So y'all better be careful talking about what God said, and you better know that you know. Signs that you're being protected and not punished. The doors closes before damages come. Y'all laughing, but I'm serious. Don't come tell me what God said, because I know God speaks to me. And sometimes it ain't clear, but it's clear enough for me to understand. Okay? And we got to pray and ask for wisdom. We got to pray and ask for discernment and understanding. Okay? So can't nobody be fooling us what God said. Well, he said it to you, he ain't said it to me. I don't know. Somebody must have told you, but it won't God because he sure didn't tell me. But anyway, sometimes God's in something before you see the full danger. Again, let's talk about relationships. You wonder why, you can't seem to make it work. But maybe it's not supposed to work. Maybe you're supposed to not be in that relationship. Maybe that's God's way of saying, listen, I'm gonna pull you out of this. Okay, relationships ended before betrayal, or a job lost before your morals are compromised, right? That's God protection. 1 Kings 12:24 said, this thing is me, says God. It ain't nobody else, it's me doing it. It ain't the devil, it's me. And another way you'll know that um the signs that you're being protected and not punished is peace shows up after the pain. I'm in a situation now to where something has happened. And honey, when I tell you, my sister-in-law called me and she was like thinking I was gonna be upset. When I tell you, when I got the news of peace, although I'm hurt, a peace came over me. And when I said, thank you, God, Lord, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. I don't understand, but I thank you. Because that's a way of dodging the bullet and you don't even know it. Okay, you may feel hurt in the moment, but later you'll see a sense of peace that you can't even explain. Okay, notice God protecting you, and protecting our children all at the same time. The inner rest is God's confirming that it was his protection and not his punishment. That says, listen, because you're at ease with it and because you're at peace, that's just letting you know that I'm not here to punish you. Time, run. I'm not here to punish you. I'm only here to protect you. That's just like with our children. We tell them no, and they don't understand. And no, you can't go over there. No, you can't have that. But they want what they want when they want it. And they think we're the bad parents, and they deem us out as being bad or whatever. Like my grandkids says, Nana, you so mean. No, I ain't. But they'll see in the future, oh, my Nana loved us because look at what she's done. Look at what she didn't allow us to do. And look at how she stayed on us to read. Look at how she came and showed up for us, even when we wanted to go down to the neighbor's house and search that. She said no. And see, okay, y'all get the joke. Y'all follow me. It aligns, and also it aligns with his word, even when it hurts. God's no would never go against his character or his will. So listen, if keeping something would cause you to disobey him, letting it go is his mercy. Hello, somebody. Good morning. Okay, somebody. Okay. And another way we can tell that it's not punishment, that it's God's love for us. Let me tell you, some better paths start to appear. Mm. After the no, you begin to see opportunities. You'll start to see growth. You would notice otherwise. Let me tell you what I told my son one time. I said, let me tell you something. I said, you're going to know when God's hand is on you. And you're going to know when God has opened the door, because everything that's hard right now, it's going to seem so easy. It's going to be so effortless. It's going to be so effortless. People are going to call you. Opportunities is going to reach for you. And at the time, he was going through, like he was down in the valley. But I had to speak like to him and let him know, honey, all these no's you're getting, it's only to prepare you for the yeses. And know that the no's is, listen, maybe that position won't for you. Because if it was for you, you would have got it. If it was for you, you would have got it. But let me tell y'all something. When God opened the doors for him, he opened the doors for him. He looked, all I did was smile. I said, I told you. I told you. Effortless. Effortless. Everything you go to, effortless. God's hand is on it. He blow on it. Effortless. Effortless. And the same people, some of the same people that wanted him to work pro bono, wanted him to work for them, like internship, and pay him peanuts to nothing, was the same ones that circled back and had to pay him quadruple. Y'all better stop playing with me. Y'all better stop playing and take them no's as God's blessings and mercy. Huh? And even though, oh, let me say this: sometimes the blessings only unfolds once your hands are free. Come on, Veronica, free them hands. Let it go. Talking to myself right there. That's right. That's right. Sometimes we try to control situation, try to control certain things, looking and thinking this is going to happen. Just do it and let it go. Let it go and watch God move. Watch God move in His time. When it's your time, it's your time. Okay. I even and let me tell y'all something. Since I went on vacation and in the mountains, I had time to sit down, sit back, and have a conversation with God. I had time to sit back and just ask him questions. And let me tell you something. And when I tell you he started speaking to me, he speaks to me. Listen, when God speaks to you, he speaks to you through scripture. He speak to you through songs. He speak to you through signs. You just got to be aware. You got to be conscious to see and awoke enough to listen and hear, right? I came home and I've been home for about 5 days now and resting. And before I open my Bible, I always pray and ask God, what do you want me to know? What do you want me to know? When I tell y'all, I went in my office and opened up a journal that I had written in. And when I say, he says, write the vision and make it clear and plain. I said, oh my God, I wrote this. What the vision that I wrote, I said, Lord God, thank you. Thank you. My son called me. I said, Jeremy, if only you knew. If only you knew what lies ahead. See, sometimes oftentimes you can't put it out there. But when it's time for me to release it, I will. And y'all just know, if y'all watching this, just know that whatever comes, I've already written it down. And God has brought, and in my journal, I had started seeing the things that I had wrote and checked off what He had came and done. Hello, somebody. Now, I won't say the journey's been easy because it haven't been. But I just thank God for the no's because the yeses are so much better, even through the whoo. Okay. All right. And now, okay, looking the warning signs that make sense in hindsight. Looking back, you can see the red flags that you missed in the relationships. You saw that he was controlling, but you just chalked it up to where maybe he just feels some type of way to there with red flags, right? His no spared you from walking deeper into something that was destructive. Sometimes I feel like I want to say somebody was supposed to get married and the guy reneged on it. Yeah. If, if you are watching this now, or if you come across this channel, know that no was a blessing for you. That separation is your protection. That separation was your protection. So don't take it. Yeah, it may hurt right now, but know that it was for your good. Girl, you dodged the bullet. Stop playing. That's right. You dodged the bullet. That's all I have for you all today. That's what I prayed about, and that's what God gave me. I thank you all for listening, and I pray that this word go out to whoever needs it. And I know that somebody that's going to watch this is somebody left them at the altar. Somebody left you at the altar and you're taking it personal. Don't take it personal. Just give God the praise and glory because that's His protection, keeping you from something majorly bad happening to you. All right. So with that being said, y'all stay encouraged, stay blessed. Thank you for watching my channel and continue to watch my videos. And I'll start posting shorts again today because your girl had to take a rest. Y'all be blessed. I love you guys.